Welcome again to this GDevelop 5 game development stream. Let's continue with our project and our game. So yeah, today I will be programming the upgrade screen. So we just designed it yesterday, but today we have to program it. And I also want to create a back button. So a back button will just take you to the previous screen. So I want to be able to do that because without a back button, things will be very difficult to do, and I will make a behavior for the back button. So let's first go to this functions and behaviors and button extension, and I have a button behavior, but I will also create a back button. Should I just do it in the button only? Uh, I guess I can. Go to button, and I have all these functions: button function, button press function. What I can do is, for the back button I can call the button function, and I can call the back button function. I can create another one, and I can just rename it like this. I will call it back button function, and this function will just take us to the previous screen. That's all it will do. So when it is pressed, so let's first go to back button press function, and I will just copy these two, shift select copy, and go here. And this button will be a type action, full name displayed. uh, what should I type here? Simulate back button press. uh, this action will make the button behave like a back button. hmm. Back button action applied to param 0. Param 0 is the name of the sprite, right? So that's good. And now we will add some events here. We have copied the events, so just paste them. So that's good. And then in actions, I think I will just write this: stop and go back to previous scene. I will just click on OK. That's what this back button will do, back button behavior. So basically, for the back button function, I will have to call these two functions, button function and back button function. So I can reduce my work. I can reduce my work by just going to this and copying all these and then just pasting it here. So I will have to call back button function only for back buttons, and I will not have to call the button function as well. So I think I should do that. I will create four events: one, two, three, total four events. Go to button function and just copy this, copy, and then here just paste it, and again just go here, copy this, and just paste it here in the second one, third one, and then go here, copy these two by shift select, and then copy, and then here come here and paste. So I have copied all three conditions from my button function, and now I will copy these, this and this. Copy this one first, copy, and go here and paste it in the corresponding condition, and copy this one as well and go and paste it here. Copy this one as well, copy and paste it, paste it here. Yeah. Now this will also do the animation as well as function like a back button by only calling one function, that is back button function. We don't even need button pressed function, which is a condition actually, uh, but we will just keep it around because it can reduce some one line of code. It will reduce one line of code, but still it's good. We don't need these. I will delete them. Why waste space? Wait, I have to delete them. Remove. Yeah. And then this one also, mouse over, remove. Yeah. This one also, remove it. Good. We have all these. That's good enough. Save the game, and now I will close it. I will now go to my upgrade screen. I will make a button, and I think I will make it you know a global object. So can I just create global objects here? Will I have to put in a layout? Okay. I think what I will do is I will create a layout, new layout, I believe, new layout. Yeah, rename it back button layout. Back button layout. Open it and choose the scene. I will choose the upgrade screen, but you can use this layout in other screens also, I believe. Yeah, because that's why it will be useful. Otherwise, what's the point, right? So, uh, so this back button layout, because it is associated with upgrade screen, has all the assets which I have in the upgrade screen. Am I doing it in a very complicated way? I believe. Uh, okay, let me just add. Uh, let me just add a back button. Back button. Add an animation. I will need to animate 3 animations actually. So edit with Piskel. Just make something, resize it for easy editing. And I want to tell you something about Pixel here. So it will be very useful for you if you want to make games with this. For my button, I will just be doing this. Create a rectangle, a square, and then choose some color and fill it in. And I want to make a stroke with some other color, and just maybe I will make a line. Yeah, stroke. Then do this, and then do this. Yeah. This looks like a back button. I will make it a little thicker. That looks good, like that. That's good, and I will just paint it in. That looks like a good enough back button. And now, one thing which is very important to know here, and that is, if you duplicate this, then you have two of them, right? But I would like to tell you that what happens is, you may think that the second one is the newer one, right? The second one is the newer file and the previous one is the older file, but that's not what Piskel does. The frame, the image at number 2 is the older image, and the image at number 1 is the newer image. So when you duplicated it, this duplicate function created a new image and put it here, and the older one was shifted down, right? That's very important to know, and that's how I have been doing some animations lately. So I duplicated it once. This is the old one and this is the new one. I will, delete one of them. So what happens when you duplicate is that Piskel creates a file, another file in your disk, right? And when you delete it, it does not delete that file. When you duplicate a frame, it will create a new file, but when you delete it, it will not delete it. So that way, what we can do is we can duplicate our picture many times and use them in different animations. That's very important to understand. Again, this is the old one, this is the new one. I will delete the new one. I will delete it, but Piskel will not delete it from my hard disk. It will still be in my hard disk in my folder, right? I will delete it now. I will I will resize it to something more comfortable, maybe 64, right? Save it. And now I want to add a new animation. To add a new animation, call it active, add, and now let me search for my art which I made. This art, this must be in my folder, and I think there must be two of them. I believe there must be two of them. I have one idle, one it. Okay, I only have one right now, and I think I know why exactly. And as you can see, this is the old one actually, because the name says Adel 18. That's the first one. First, I believe, yeah. I have only one, so don't include that one. Let's go back to edit now once more. I think it did not create a file last time because we hadn't yet saved it. So just duplicate it. This is the old one, this is the new one. Now delete it and then save it. And I think now we will have two files. Don't edit, don't add. I think now we will have two files, I believe. Nope, still one file. If I bring it here, then if I try to add, I think now I will have two files, I believe. Files. Nope, still one file. And if I go here, edit with Piskel, let me do that. And I will duplicate it now. Now I have two files. Two files for the duplicated one of them. And this is the old one, this is the new one. I will delete it again, save it. Now let me check if I have a third file, I mean a second file. I don't see it anywhere. I guess I don't. This is not creating a duplicate, and just yeah, there is no duplicate file. However, if I just go here, edit with Piskel, and duplicate, I'll duplicate it. This is the old one. This is the old one, right? And this is the new one. I will just delete the old one, delete it, and I'll work on the new one. Okay, because the old file is associated with the idle animation also and the active animation also, because we included it in the active one. We created the file in idle, but we included it in the active. That was the same file. Quiskel was not creating a duplicate file unless we save it. So that assumption of mine was wrong, that Quiskel creates every time. It doesn't. It will create if you just save it, then it will create. So that same file has been used in both animations, but this is a duplicate which I created just now. I deleted the old one which I was using because it was referenced in both animations, and now I'm working on the new one. Now I will change its color, and I will see if the original one also updates. It should not update. So let me change some color. Let me pick the color first, a lighter shade, and then this, and then save. So yeah, as you can see, my old file has not been updated, but only the new one has been updated. But if you and I will show you something more. Add an animation. and then call it press, right? And now I will not create it again, because if I do, it will have some variation. I will just include the old one. But if I only include it and start editing it, it will change the old one also. So that's why we are duplicating in Piskel. So the correct way, I will first show you how you can do it wrong, but I don't want to actually do it. The correct way is this: add add one of these, add the darker one. You see this is active, because this is the new one which I duplicated in the active animation, and the idle animation, this is the one in the idle animation. So I will reference this file in my press animation. I will just click it and I will open it. So it has come here. But this is just a reference. This is just a reference to this file. If you edit this one in Piskel, this one will be edited too. We will not do that. We will duplicate it and then edit the duplicate copy. Edit with Piskel and duplicate it. Duplicate this. This is the old one and this is the new one. This is the old one, this is the new one, right? Old one, new one. Delete the old one, because we don't want to edit it. When you delete it from here, it does not delete it from the file. So delete it. This is the new one. Edit this one. I will for pressed animation, I will just paint it a little darker shade. Go to some darker shade and just paint it. Pressed animation. Save it. There you go. It we referenced, first of all, we included this file here, but we made a duplicate of it within Piskel, right? We removed the original one so that we don't edit it, and we edited the new one. So that's how I was making animations for buttons in the game. At first it was confusing for me also. That's why I thought that I should tell you exactly what is happening in Piskel, right? So yeah, that's what is happening. And unless you click on save, it will not create any new file. So that's something you should know. In the beginning I told that when you duplicate, it creates a new file. That was wrong. Unless you save, it will not create a new file, so that's something else to take care of, right? So that's important. Okay, we have 3 animations. We will just include our behavior, which was custom button, and animation number to be played when player hovers, and that is the 1. When does nothing, 0, and when the player presses the button is 2, and then apply, save. This is the layout in which we are doing something, right? We have to include this layout in our upgrade screen event. And why I'm doing this is I'm doing this because I want this back button to be included in all the scenes, and for that I can just you know uh, make it a global object, but I am not doing that. Can I let me no let me first do it this way only, or not? Let me make it a global object. Let me make it a set as a global object. We have not made a global object yet. Global. No, now this is a global object. You can see that it is global because it is written like this. I cannot close my layout. You did not have to make the global object in a layout. I think I can even delete the layout file and the object will remain. See, the object is there. No matter where you create any object, where you won't be able to see it. Yeah, now you can see it. So you can see that this object back button which we created in the layout is here, and it's written in a different color. I mean it's italicized and a little bold. I created it in an external layout, but I actually did not need to do that. You can create it anywhere and just do this, set as global object, and the object will be set as global object, which means that it will be available in all the scenes. So let me open another scene and see if it's there in the scene, or I believe it can just be reference from the events. It's there. I did not create it in stage 1, but it's still there, so that's something really cool. So we have a global object button. Let me add the behavior for our button extension, button function. But we had a back button function also, right? Where is that? Wait, where is the back button function? This was not being shown to me. Button press. I think it did not update, or what, some bug or something buggy here. I think should show me this also. It is showing me the previous one. Wait, let me close this and close and open it again. My upgrade screen, and then go here and then delete this. Then I add an action again. Button extension. So yeah, I have simulate back button press. Yes, now it will simulate the back button. Back button. Yeah, that's uh, that's what I wanted to do. Back button. And now let me bring the back button here and just keep it here. Put it here, nice, nice and nice position. There it is, a back button, and but we also need to actually go into the upgrade screen from somewhere. I believe we should make the functionality of going into the upgrade screen from the main menu only, right? From the main menu. So let's go to the main menu. Just to test my button, I can just do one more thing. I can open stage selector and put the back button here and test, and I will be able to test it from here. Yeah, I'm just testing it. I don't want to actually implement it right now. Where it is, a back button, and now I will just include the function without any condition. Just add an action. Button extension, button simulate back button press, which is the back button. Okay. So now I will run main menu. When I press on start, I will be taken to stage selector menu, and when I press on back button, I should be allowed to go back to main menu, right? Yeah, yeah. But I believe to do that, I will have to. I shouldn't change the scene. Double click on it, and I should do this. Pause and start a new scene, right? I think that's what I should do instead of changing the scene. If I want to use the back button, that is. So I will just run it. Oh, start. Working. That's very cool. It's working. And what if, let me see the behavior once again, and the function. stop the scene and go back to the previous paused one. Yes, that's why I did this. Pause the scene and start state selector. Without pausing, don't start it, because if we don't pause the main menu and just change the scene, we will not be able to use the back button, because back button only works on paused scenes. It will only take you back to the previous paused scene. Right. So that's good. It's working. We will keep it at here at the main menu. We will need back button in many places. That's why I made it a global object. Right. So let it be in the stage selector, and the upgrade screen also. Oh yeah, I will make an icon so that I can go to the upgrade screen from the main menu screen. So let's do that. Let's do that because it's important. Right. Without that, we will not be able to go to the upgrade screen. Go to main menu again and make something, some a little sprite, which I will put here, I believe, next to this. Add an object sprite and call it upgrade button. Upgrade screen button, because it will take us to upgrade screen. Add animation, call it idle. Edit with Piskel. Resize for easy editing, and angle to just make very simple, but nothing fancy. Just put white color here, and what should I, what symbol should I, oh, I should put an arrow symbol, right, because we are upgrading. Wait, something like this, yeah, arrow. First I will make a rectangle here, then I will make some lines. Wow. This looks okay, a little skewed I believe, but still okay. So upgrade button with an up arrow. I will put the size as 100, resize it for better visibility. Save. I have one file. Let me just check the size. The size is proper. It is very proper. Delete it and then go here. We have to make some animations also. Add animation. Active. Active. Edit with Piskel. Wait. I have to add it from here. So we have created a button sprite and added some button function on it. And because we added button function, let us initialize that behavior in the events without any condition. I and not without any condition. I think we should add it when the scene is played, right? Whenever a new scene starts, we should just add that function. I mean, add that code to call the back button function, right? At the start of scene, just add a new event, drag it above, and then click at the start of scene, and then here add the button function. We don't want a back button, we just want a regular button, so I will just select it. We have initialized the button behavior on our sprite. Now we will just bring it here and just do this a little bit. That's good. And now I want to add some event on it. I mean, when what will happen when the user presses the button. Let me go to main menu, and I have a condition in my behavior. You may know it. Let me show you. This a button press function, this is a condition, as you can see, condition, while these two are actions. That is why these two, this and this, will show up in the action side of the event, while this will show up in the condition side of the events. Let me show you. Add a new condition, and add condition. I think it will show up here. Yep, button pressed, and only this one is showing. Oh well, you can't see it. Wait, let. As you can see, only this button pressed is showing here, and just use it. Use it, and what button? Upgrade screen button. That's okay. And that's a condition, and now we have to add some action. We could do it manually also, not use the behavior function, but that will just take one more line of code. What's the point of doing that? Just add action. Why waste another line of code, right? Not like it makes a lot of difference, but when your program gets bigger and bigger, and you add more and more buttons, then that one line of code will result in a lot of used space, right? So what we have to do when it is pressed, we have to take the user to the upgrade screen. So scene, pause and start a new scene. Don't change the scene, otherwise we won't be able to use the back button. So upgrade screen. Okay, and now it will take us to the upgrade screen, and from the upgrade screen we have the back button. We will be able to come back. Suppose we went to the upgrade screen and we don't want to upgrade, we should be allowed to go back to the previous screen. Let's start. Thing is happening. Nothing is happening. I guess this is not working, I believe. Pause the scene and start upgrade screen. Huh. I wonder why not. Why is it not registering the condition? Button press. The cursor is on object, left mouse button was released. On object, our button object, but a sprite. Object sprite. Should do it, it is not. I believe that, I guess it should work, but why is it not working? Uh, and that was also, was it showing me the animations? Let me see. No. No, so I think you have to do it every frame. So just delete this, and just you can just copy them, cut it, and paste here where no condition is there and this line is running every frame. So just paste it. we are doing it every frame. And then let me bring it here just to keep it organized. Right, so now let's test it. When we were only doing that at the beginning of the scene, it was not showing the animations. And yeah, I believe that it should run every frame. Right, this function should run every frame. This one and this one, and now I think this one should work. Let's see. So that is working, but now we still can't go to this condition is still not being called, this not being detected. I guess for now let us just copy these two, shift select copy and go here and delete this one, delete this and just paste it here. Now let us test it. Pause and go to upgrade screen. Yeah. Still not able to go to upgrade screen. I wonder why not. What is happening here? Oh yeah, object. Which object? That's what is happening. There is there is nothing like object here. We have the upgrade screen button. Accurate test, yes. Okay, now it should work. That's 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 working, but we had to actually uh, specify the upgrade screen button, and we couldn't. This condition was not being checked. I don't know why not. Uh, we will figure it out why not. I guess we have to write 2 lines of code here, and then waste some space, but can't really avoid that for necessary functions. So yeah, so that's that. We have created main menu and put the upgrade button here, and now we have to actually do the upgrade, right? So since we cannot use the button pressed condition, which is kind of weird, I wonder why not, but still, let's add some three conditions, one, three events, two, three, and I will add condition of um, mouse and touch, cursor touches on an object, uh, uh, health upgrade button, yes, and then just copy this one and paste it here and paste it here. Instead of health upgrade button, just choose damage upgrade button, and instead of here health upgrade, choose attack speed upgrade button. We have all three now. So just go to actions and okay, cursor is there, but we also have to release the mouse button, right? Just copy this, paste it, save it, and now add action. Action will be something like this. When it is pressed, we will have to do a sub event, right? We will have to check if the player has enough money, enough coins to make this purchase. And I believe that we should also show the player how much coin they have, but let's do it. Okay, let's do it. First thing, we need 3 more text fields, and I think I will just use this one. uh, yeah, this one. Duplicate it 2 times, 3 times, 1, 2, and 3, and call it by other names. Health upgrade message, and this one just rename it damage upgrade message. Enter. And then this one attack speed upgrade message. I have all 3. Can I drag them down? Yeah, I can but I will just keep them here. Don't just drag it here. Yeah, that's okay. So I will now not drag them yet. Should I drag them? I think I should. And what this will do is I will change the color to white, because just to differentiate between this and the health upgrade text. Apply. And actually the text should show not enough coins, but I think the text should not show anything right now, just empty string, just nothing. Health upgrade message, don't show anything. And attack speed upgrade, don't show anything. Damage upgrade, don't show anything at all. Cool. And if I bring it here, where is it? Wow, it is not coming. I think it has come, but it has come multiple times. Yeah, I will delete it. Oh yeah, because it does not have any text, we are not able to see it. Just delete this and delete this. Delete. So it is not deleting right here. You just select it here and bring your mouse here and then press delete. That will delete it. And this list was this list of instances. That was, it will show you all the objects which you have brought inside the scene. It will not show you the objects which are here in this list. It will show you the objects you have brought inside the scene. Right, so we will bring them inside the scene dynamically, and change their text also dynamically, because it's a message and it will uh, depend on what happens when the user clicks on this button. We also need a coin sprite, another one actually, just to show how much coin the user has. Where should I put it? Should I put it down here? No, I should put it here, right here. And now I need some text. This one will do health upgrade cost, but I will just create a new one. Or should I just duplicate? I will duplicate it. Duplicate health upgrade cost and call it coin text. This will be used just to display how many coins the player has. So yeah, just open it, and 0 shows 0. Cool. I will just put it here, just here, like, yeah, perfect. I think I should bring it a little bit in the middle. Just put your press your arrow keys. Yeah. Save the game, and now let's program some functionalities. Without any condition, I should bind the text to the variable, global variable coins. Modify the text. Which text? Coin text. Choose an operator, and the value should be variables text of a global variable, and that is coins like okay, now it's bound to that, right? And health upgrade. Now we need to create a sub event. Let me see if I can create some sub action actually. Add a sub event to the selected event. uh, it's a sub event. No, don't do that. Wow, I deleted something which I shouldn't have. If I delete it, nothing. If I keep my mouse here and delete it, nothing is being happening. Oh, I added a sub event and now I need to undo that. Ah, cool. Add an action. I want to add some condition here. I wonder if I can. Set condition return value. Set the return value of the condition events function to either true. Should the condition be true or false? It should be true. Okay. What is this? What is this? It's I want to check. Do I have a if? Okay. Anyway, if I do these and I will just add the condition right here. And if my yeah, that's what you should do indeed. I was thinking that I just first register this and then add a sub event or something, and then that happens. That you can do it that way also. I believe I really do. And let's add. I can't add a sub event. Okay, let's add the condition right here. What there is no point in not doing that. Oh no, I want to actually add a sub event. What I don't know why. Oh, I can add it now. Add a sub event. And then when this condition is true, I believe this will happen. This will check value of a global variable uh, points is greater than or equal to value of a global variable again, and that variable is health upgrade cost. Apply. If this is true, then if this is true, then points is less than okay. We have to do both anyway. So add action. We will show a message first. First we will create the sprite. Oh wait, don't create it. I will add another action here. Yeah, I have added it. I will add the reverse condition. Copy and paste and will add greater than or equal to. Yeah. But I will not create the objects dynamically. I will just bring them here because they actually don't have any, you know, uh, text inside them. Right? Message. However, to position them, I will just type something. Message, help message. I will remove this message on runtime. Health upgrade message, damage message, and attack speed message, apply, and just oh, it is already here. Health message is already here. So just bring it a little bit here, and reduce the size. I believe for to 40 for all of them. For all of them. For damage upgrade is already oh they are already 40. Should I decrease them to 20? Yeah, that's looking better. That's being differentiated from the heading. So that's important. It's important to differentiate them from the heading. What is the heading and what is the message? Cancel. Okay, so let me put it. This is a good position actually, right here. And now for damage, I will just put it here. This is a good position. And for attack speed upgrade, I will just put it here. So I am pressing space bar to use the hand tool. Press and hold spacebar and drag with your mouse, right? That's how you can use the hand tool. And I am using mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. So I just thought I should tell that because that's important. That's how you can easily move around in the scene. So I have added these, and on runtime, actually when the scene starts, I will just put the text value to blank, and text object, modify the text. Which one was it? Health upgrade equal to blank, and same thing for others. Paste, whoops, just paste the action and paste it. Instead of health upgrade, just use the upgrade message. And attack speed, right? So we have done that. They will be set to blank as soon as the scene starts. And here again, uh, we have to do this. If it is less than, we will show the message that your health is low, you don't have enough coins. And for which one? We will do this for the health upgrade message. Text object, modify the text, health upgrade message is equal to what is it equal to? Not enough coins, not enough coins. And here, copy this and paste it here. Wow, paste it here, and change this. No, change this to health upgraded. That's it. And when we show this not enough coins, we have to start a timer. Yeah, we will start the timer right here. When the beginning of the scene, start a timer. Call it message timer. Don't message timer, and add an action here. That will be message timer. Uh, that should be value of a scene timer, and that is message timer. If the value is greater than something, maybe 5 seconds, then the message will disappear. Oh, okay, I have to put the time there and the timer's name at the bottom. Message timer, 5 seconds. If it's greater than 5 seconds, then timer will be reset. Reset the timer, start or reset. Message timer will reset the timer, and it will also change the text back to, to blank of these message objects. Copy them and then paste them all. That way, when we display the message after 5 seconds, it will go back. It will disappear. So to do that, we have to reset the timer here also. So just copy this and then paste it. Reset the timer. Reset the timer. That's it. So for health, we have done it, and but obviously the actual functioning is not happening. We have to increase the max health. We have to change the of this thing, this, and we also have to decrease the points. So, but first, let me do these actions for all these two also. Add to sub. Oh shit. Yeah. Use this, and this is grayed out. Oh, now it is there. So you have to click here to not gray it out. And now you can add a sub event. Add another one, and just copy this, paste it here, and just copy this and paste it here, and change the health upgrade cost to damage upgrade cost. Damage upgrade cost. Damage upgrade cost. And just here also change the health upgrade cost to damage upgrade cost. right here we've done that, and now just copy these two as well and paste them here. Copy these two as well and paste them here. Instead of health upgrade message, choose damage upgrade message. Damage upgrade message here also. Here also damage upgrade message. Health and here instead of health upgraded, choose damage upgrade. Right. That's good. And then here also you have to do the same thing. Add one sub action, another one, two of them. Just copy these, copy and paste, and then copy this one also and just paste it here. And instead of damage upgrade cost, type attack speed upgrade cost, attack speed upgrade cost. And instead of damage upgrade cost, again attack speed upgrade cost. Sorry, don't press enter. Attack speed upgrade cost, attack speed upgrade cost. Copy these two and just paste them here. Copy these two and then just paste them here. Okay. So now change it. Instead of, oh yeah, I have to change this also, health upgrade message. I think I did change it. What happened? Damage upgrade message. Yeah, I have to choose this, then it will update it. Damage upgrade message. Yeah, that's good. And here attack speed upgrade message. Speed upgrade. And here also attack speed upgrade message. Yeah. Damage upgraded, instead of damage upgraded, choose attack speed upgraded. Attack speed upgraded. Okay. Okay, we have done so much, and let's see if it is working or not. It should work. I guess should work because it's very simple. Nothing. We're not doing anything very crazy or something. Let's see if it does. We don't have any coins right now, so the condition will be false. Enough coins. Yeah, not enough coins. Not enough coins. So yeah, so it's working as intended, right? So that's pretty cool. We just have to add, now we have to add at the actual upgrade and decrease the money, increase the upgrade, change this animation, and keep it changed when the player goes back to the main menu. So that's also something we have to do. That will take a lot of time. We will do it next time, I guess tomorrow. So if you are enjoying this stream, kindly join me tomorrow as well. Right? Thank you for watching.